This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Good morning. I'm Lauren Casey. The time right now is 4:27. It is Tuesday morning, and we have several stories to get to before we get into our top stories today. We do want to start with the healthcare capacity in the state of Indiana. These numbers are really important when we're talking about reopening, because when we're talking about flattening the curve, we want to make sure that our healthcare system is not overwhelmed by COVID cases. And so these are the latest numbers from the state health department. We can tell you 39.5% of ICU beds are available in the state. That number is actually up more beds since Sunday. 16% of the beds right now are being used by COVID patients. The other are other patients here in the state with other types of illnesses. We can also tell you that a pretty good size number of the ventilators are still available in our state at this time. So these are numbers we will continue to track as we look at the cases across Indiana. Now, another story we are talking about has to do with restaurants reopening here in Indianapolis. And we know the mayor has been saying that they can reopen on a certain date if they have outdoor seating. Only outdoor seating, not indoor at this time. But a lot of restaurants obviously don't have outdoor seating, or they don't have a ton of outdoor seating. So what the city is looking at right now is the possibility of closing several streets throughout downtown, blocking off those roads, and then turning that into a space that restaurants can use for patio seating. So we're going to be breaking down a little bit more on this, telling you some of the streets they're considering closing, and we're going to hear more from Mayor Joe Hogsett coming up in a press conference about this issue later today. We do want to take a turn right now to our forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by, and Todd, it looks like another wet day here across central Indiana. What can folks expect?
Yeah, you know, we're going to be dealing with scattered showers off and on here throughout the day today, Lauren. I think they're probably a little more numerous later on this afternoon compared to this morning. But you do notice there are a few out there already this morning. They're all generally very, very light. Temperatures are currently sitting in the 50s and 60s across the area. Now, the good news is most of the heavy rainfall has stayed off to our east into Ohio. And as a result, the National Weather Service has dropped that flash flood watch that was in effect across eastern Indiana. So while we still are expecting some rain, and we're still expecting the heaviest of the rain to be off to the east, it's probably not going to be enough to cause any flooding across the area. So that's at least some good news. But especially this afternoon, you'll need to have the umbrella. With a high today of 66. We'll time out the rain for you using TrueCast coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We do have an interview coming up here in the 6 o'clock hour. We're going to be speaking with IPD Chief Randall Taylor. You see him there on your screen. We're going to be going one-on-one with him to talk about some reform happening here in the Circle City, some calls for some changes when it comes to the use of force. So we'll have more coming up from the chief and more here. News, weather, and traffic on Good Morning Indiana. Stick around.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 4:30 on Good Morning Indiana, Indianapolis leaders are set to announce new steps to help Marion County restaurants open on Friday. We'll show you the plan being proposed to close streets to create more outdoor seating. As progress is made on a COVID-19 vaccine, President Trump says he's taking a controversial drug for prevention, while he says he's promoting it despite the FDA warning. And since the pandemic hit, people have had to exercise outside or in their homes, not in gyms or fitness centers. The services the YMCA is offering now that could help you work out at home. It is 4:30 here, and it is Tuesday. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is social distancing and working from home today. And Todd, you have the radar behind you, and it looks like we have another active day.
Yeah, you know, there's already some showers out there, Lauren. They're not super heavy yet this morning. That is the good news. And they're fairly not widespread. So that's good news as well. Yesterday, we had those heavy bands of rain moving through. And right now, you can see the heavier the rain is off to our east in Ohio. Right now, we just have a few scattered showers on the east side of Indianapolis. There's a couple more here near Noblesville over towards Anderson, a couple showers up towards Tipton. And that's really just about it as far as the rainfall goes. But as I expand out, you can see the bigger picture. And you can see some of this rain near Cincinnati, and you can see the direction it's coming. It's kind of lifting to the north and moving to the east just a little bit. So we are expecting some of that rainfall to make its way into our area during the day today. The further east you are from Indianapolis, the heavier the rain chances will be throughout the day as this upper level low just slowly starts to make its way through the area. Temperatures right now in the 50s and low 60s. We're not going to see the temperatures move a whole lot throughout the day today. Yesterday, we got into a little bit of sunshine here and there. Probably not the case for the day today, with more clouds than sunshine and high temperatures that'll level off, Lauren, right around 66 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads, maybe heading to work early on this Tuesday. Here's a look up on the north side, I-465 and Ditch Road. You can see some vehicles there moving across your screen, and everything is traveling up to speed both eastbound and westbound. No crashes, no delays here to slow you down. We'll continue to keep you updated on any major issues. We do know right now that we have a semi overturned near the Boone-Clinton County line on I-65 that's impacting northbound traffic near State Road 47. So keep that in mind for your morning commute, and we'll continue to check in on that, as well as any other issues that might slow you down. New from overnight, one person is dead, another hospitalized after a shooting on Indy's west side. It all happened at the intersection of West St. Clair Street and Belmont before 10 p.m. When they arrived, officers found a man in the street with gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A second victim was taken to the hospital, is in stable condition right now. Police are working to find out what led up to this shooting. No suspect information has been released at this time. Well, we continue to follow the latest on how the coronavirus is impacting our state. The Indiana State Department of Health is reporting 492 positive cases and 14 new deaths. That brings the total number of cases to 28,255. 1,621 Hoosiers died from the virus so far. Nearly 184,000 people have tested positive, with about 15.4% of those tests coming back positive. The state says 39.5% of Indiana's intensive care unit beds are still available today. That's up from 38% reported on Sunday. About 16% of those beds in use are being used by COVID patients, and more than 80% of the state's ventilators are still available. And this morning, Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogg said we'll outline some new measures to help Marion County restaurants as they begin to reopen. As of right now, they'll be allowed to open this Friday, but only for outdoor dining. City County leaders say the mayor's announcement could finalize a plan to help restaurants get more outdoor space by blocking off streets. Councilman Zach Adamson says leaders are exploring the closures to allow restaurants to put tables and chairs in the roads. They're considering leaving Mass Ave from Delaware to College Avenue, the southern half of Monument Circle, Georgia Street between Illinois and Pennsylvania Streets, Illinois Street between Georgia Street and Market, and Broad Ripple Avenue from the Monon Trail to College Avenue.
People are going to want to be outside, and as some of the restrictions are going to be relaxed a little bit, people are going to want to visit some of their favorite restaurants and things. And I think that this is the city's response to what we anticipate the public will have as an expectation.
Well, the mayor's virtual news conference about the possible measures starts at 10:30 a.m. today. We will have live coverage on the RTV6 app and also at the IndyChannel.com. As America continues to move towards its pre-pandemic life, researchers are making some progress on a vaccine. President Trump says he's been taking a controversial drug for the past week to prevent the virus. ABC's Alex Perche has more on that from Washington.
President Trump making a surprise announcement.
I'm taking it, hydroxychloroquine. Right now, yeah.
The president saying he's been taking the drug used to treat malaria as a protective treatment for coronavirus.
A couple of weeks ago, I started taking it because I think it's good. I've heard a lot of good stories.
For some 2 months, the president has been promoting hydroxychloroquine as a treatment for the virus. The president saying he asked the White House doctor if he could take it, even though he says he does not have the virus or any symptoms. But just last month, the FDA warned against using it for COVID-19 outside of hospitals or clinical trials because it could cause heart problems. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi voicing concern on CNN.
He's our president, and I would rather he not be taking something that has not been approved by the scientists, especially in his age group and in his, shall we say, weight group, what is morbidly obese, they say. So I think it's not a good idea.
Meanwhile, a potential breakthrough on the vaccine front. Moderna Labs, an American company working on a vaccine, says all 45 of their test patients are producing antibodies that fight the disease.
To have one small role in just getting beyond this pandemic is an amazing opportunity.
Norman Hume of Atlanta is one of them. He received his second dose of the vaccine Monday. In the early results, the 45 patients developed the same level of antibodies as someone who's recovered from COVID-19. The vaccine will have to pass more phases of testing, and if the results continue to prove positive, Moderna hopes the drug can be ready by the end of the year. And now even more states are reopening. More than 130,000 auto workers were back on the job Monday, the first time in 8 weeks. By Wednesday, Connecticut will begin to reopen, meaning that all 50 states will have eased restrictions. Cases still rising in at least 10 of them. At least another 24 have hit a plateau. Alex Prochet, ABC News, Washington.
Well, the pandemic has caused some Indiana fairs and events to either cancel or find other alternatives. Bartholomew County says they're going to try and take their 4-H fair online. The event is scheduled for July 10th and will be virtual for all 4-H projects. Organizers say they're concerned that having the fair as planned would jeopardize the health of 4-H members and volunteers. They also said it would be difficult to meet safety guidelines, including temperature checks and tracking. The emotional toll of the coronavirus pandemic is different for everyone. The Rebound Indiana is our mission to make sure that you and your family get the help that you need if you need it. Like many parents, Kayla Swenson is trying to balance working from home and having kids cooped up in the house. She's a mom to a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. Usually Kayla attends a mom's group at IU Health for support through in-person meetings, but they found a way to continue through virtual sessions. Group leader Cindy Love says many people need support now more than ever.
That added stress is something that none of us have had to deal with in the past. And that social isolation, I think, is the biggest problem that most moms are feeling. When you wake up, a lot of people are saying it's like Groundhog Day. You know, you wake up and every day looks the same.
When she said that they were going to do virtual, I was really excited because it brought back an element of normal back into our lives.
Well, you can find more on these resources in this story. It's the IndyChannel.com and also on the RTV6 app. You may find it difficult to stay active during the stay-at-home order, especially with gyms and fitness centers closed. RTV6's Brad Brown shows us how one major facility is staying open online.
For every piece of pizza, there's some push-ups. For every burger, there's some burpees. And for every shake, there's a shuffle.
15 seconds.
Working out in your living room is only weird if you think it is, but the trainers at the Indy YMCA have put together several online programs to help keep your mind and body healthy during these difficult times.
We're still a community, even though our building's closed. We're still providing and pushing forward with our mission and keeping us all together.
On any given day, thousands of people come through the doors of the branches of the Greater Indianapolis YMCA. For 2 months now, those gyms have been empty, but the Y remains committed to serving its members.
We really wanted to get as much content out there for the really broad spectrum of members and community members that we serve in order to try and keep people as connected with each other, but also well during this time as we could.
Now, the Indy Y has created an online portal with a wide variety of services, from cardio and strength training.
Let's go, same weight.
Take it to a level that best fits you today.
To yoga and Pilates. The Y staff has something for every fitness level.
The overall intent was still to serve our community and our members in the best way we could, but we had to get really broad in making sure that we were serving a whole lot of needs for a much longer period of time.
And beyond the workouts, there are wellness programs and healthy cooking tips. Activities for kids as well. Going all in online with the Y's mission of serving mind, body, and spirit.
One team, one goal, so we're all in it together. As you know, with the STT, our small group training, we're all complaining at the same time. We're all sweating, and instructors are there with you, even though it's not in person, but we're still, forming that team.
Whether you're in small group training or you're just a member of our community, we're all in this together. And so we've really tried to sort of focus on that philosophy at the Y and really being there for our community and our members as best we can.
Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
All right, Brad, thank you so much. Well, gyms in most parts of the state are scheduled to reopen next week in phase 3. That's part of the governor's plan. The Y will be making adjustments to smaller class sizes and distancing in their wellness centers. They say many of the virtual programs will continue. Well, the Indiana Supreme Court has denied Governor Holcomb's request to clarify the suspension of Attorney General Curtis Hill. Coming up, why the court's decision is leaving Hill's status in limbo. And as more people continue to work from home during the pandemic, employers are looking into ways to monitor your productivity. Still ahead, a look at the surveillance system some companies are already beginning to use. Todd.
And Lauren, we got a break from the rainfall yesterday afternoon and evening for the most part, but rain showers now starting to build back across parts of central Indiana. We'll let you know who's going to see more rain than others here throughout the day today, and whether any thunderstorms enter the forecast as well coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 4:41. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
Hiring Hoosiers only on RTV6.
Welcome back. The time right now is 4:44. This is Tuesday morning, and here's a look right now at a traffic issue we're monitoring. This is up near the Boone-Clinton County line, I-65. This is a look near US 52, and you see some flashing lights there on your screen. Here's what you need to know. Right now, we are tracking a semi overturned on northbound I-65 between State Road 47 and the Boone-Clinton County line. So the interstate there is closed north of the US 52 area. So just north of this spot you're looking at right now. So if you're traveling northbound on I-65, I would get on US 52 that runs alongside the interstate. Take that up for a while this morning, and you should be able to reroute after that closure, maybe around State Road 28. So we will continue to monitor this and keep you updated, but you can see things are getting a little busier in that area. Well, the Indiana Supreme Court is denying a request for clarification on its decision to suspend Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill. The 30-day suspension of Hill's law license now in effect over allegations of sexual misconduct involving a state lawmaker and 3 other women. The court said it would be inappropriate to respond to Governor Eric Holcomb's request for clarification regarding that suspension. Holcomb filed legal papers asking the court if Hill was automatically disqualified from holding the office once the suspension took effect, and if Hill could still practice law. The court said the questions Holcomb asked were outside the scope of the court's disciplinary decision. Hill named his chief deputy as his temporary replacement. He has denied the allegations, and he was not charged. The sudden boom in working from home has even more employers considering surveillance for remote workers. NPR reports demand for tracking software has tripled. It can be used to monitor company phones and computers, also to keep records of mouse movements, keystrokes, and web pages. Software can even track team members using GPS. Measured productivity and time logged can directly translate into employee pay. Experts say most employers have already been using some level of tracking for email and browser history.
And in your employee handbooks, it's very common to say, hey, don't expect any privacy. Any personal stuff that you're using, it may be discovered. It may come out for a variety of reasons. So, keep your personal stuff personal is always a good practice from an employee perspective.
Well, Schweber says it's likely this software will continue to grow in popularity, especially for companies that didn't have telework culture before the pandemic. As the weather turns warmer, many of us are wondering if public pools will open. Researchers say pools are at a low risk of spreading the coronavirus. Purdue University engineers say while they don't have the data showing how COVID-19 responds to chlorine, there's other research that shows it gets rid of similar viruses. If pools are kept at recommended chlorine levels, they say there would be a very little infective virus left in the water. However, researchers do say the air around the indoor pools poses the same risk of infection as other indoor spaces. Right now it is 4:47. Let's toss things over to Todd Clausen for a look at our forecast on this Tuesday. Hey, Todd.
Yeah, and the pool will be a popular place, I think, if you have them open in your backyard once we get to the weekend, Lauren, as we're going to build in some pretty good heat in our forecast. Not the case, though, today and the coming days, as we're actually running a little bit below normal, and that's going to be due to cloud cover and some showers on Storm Team 6 radar. You can see some of these rain showers right now making their way through parts of the area. We'll give you a little bit of a closer look. Anderson, some light rain with a heavier downpour just north of town there, and then as we work our way into Hamilton County, Noblesville, Carmel, even into the Fishers area, a little bit of a light shower, and up to Kokomo as well. We'll come into the metro area, and a few sprinkles now starting to show up here across New Pal, as well as the downtown Indianapolis area. And as we expand out, we'll show you the big picture. If you were with us yesterday, the heavy band of rain was moving right through the state. And if you weren't with us yesterday, you know when you looked out your window that we were dealing with quite a bit of heavy rain. And the area of low pressure was across parts parts of Ohio. While this area of low pressure has now made its way just down to our south, and that's why the heavy band of rain is off to our east. But as this low continues to move off towards the east, it's going to pinwheel some of these showers back into our forecast. So while some of this rain is lingering just across the state line in Ohio right now, what's going to happen throughout the day today is it's going to move back into central Indiana. Now, the further east you are, you're going to get into the heavier rainfall throughout the day today, and the further west you are, the drier you are going to be. And you can see this rain moving in. So by the time we get to about the noon hour, we're dealing with scattered showers moving in across most of the area. So I do think the second half of the day is definitely a little wetter than the first half of the day, but I don't think we ever really get into a lot of heavy rainfall today across the area. And one of the ways we can see where the heaviest rain is going to be is look at the rainfall potential. And you notice the big difference. Close to an inch of rain possible in Connorsville and Richmond as you work your way westward, about a quarter inch in the metro area, a couple hundredths of an inch as you work your way a little further off to the west. Temperatures right now are hovering in the 50s and 60s. There won't be a whole lot of movement temperature-wise throughout the day today. We're going to stay in the mid-60s for your afternoon highs. It's below normal, but it's not terrible. It won't feel super chilly out there. And then for the day tomorrow, we'll lose a lot of the rainfall. We will not lose the cloud cover, though. That is going to stay in place. And as you look at your 7-day planning forecast here, the thing that jumps out is the end of the forecast, and that is the warmth that is going to be building in. Little unsettled through Thursday, Friday, partly cloudy. You do see those storm chances Saturday, Sunday. On average, they're about a 30 to 40% chance of storms. Those are basically, Lauren, going to be those pop-up storms in the afternoon with temperatures very summer-like both Sunday and Memorial Day itself. Look for highs right around 85 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Take a look right now at traffic. We are monitoring an overturned semi right now on northbound lanes of I-65 as you're heading north of Lebanon. It is blocking all lanes of traffic, and you can see we have some crews right here. This is at US 52, just a little south of where the semi is. So if you're traveling northbound on 65, you'll want to maybe get off here at US 52. You can take that northbound. It runs alongside the interstate, and then once you get to State Road 28, you can head back west and reconnect with the northbound lanes of I-65 to continue along your way. We'll continue to monitor this situation and let you know when everything is clear. But for right now, I think that would be your best bet so you don't run into too many delays for your Tuesday commute. Well, search teams in California are looking for a man believed to be the former World Wrestling Entertainment star. 39-year-old Chad Gaspard has been missing since going swimming with his son off the coast of Los Angeles Sunday. Lifeguards rescued the 10-year-old boy from the water, and he was treated at the scene. Authorities say the father and the son were swept away by strong rip currents. Divers and sonar equipment are being used to look for Gaspard while the search resumes this morning. Today, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are celebrating their 2-year wedding anniversary. Millions from across the world watched as they got married at St. George's Chapel in Windsor back in 2018 and became the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They now have a son, Archie, who's 1 year old. The couple officially stepped down from their royal duties back in March of this year and moved out to Los Angeles. As restaurants and bars reopen, businesses are figuring out how to make sure that customers still follow social distancing. After the break, the creative table contraption one Maryland bar came up with to keep customers 6 feet apart. That story and more coming up after the break.
Home experts at theindychannel.com.
A Maryland bar is making a fun new way to meet up with friends for happy hour and still be socially distant. Fishtails Pub in Ocean City brought these bumper tables for customers to use once the bar and restaurants are allowed to reopen. The tables are custom made with an inner tube and wheels, and they guarantee to keep customers 6 feet apart. As you can see, customers would stand in the middle, but they're still able to walk around and chat while maintaining a safe social distance from others. Oh man, Todd, I don't know if you can see this video or not, but I feel like this is something you would be into. Social distancing, being safe, of course.
I am watching, and I saw it yesterday as well. It's kind of funny. Got to wheel that thing around like a little cart, but I guess it keeps you 6 feet apart. I don't know. You got to put some big wheels on those things if you want to take them out on the sand, though, and the beach there. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with some scattered showers starting to move back into the area. All the showers are very, very light, but we will inherit some of that rain you see near Cincinnati throughout the latter half of the morning. And I do think the showers will be a little more numerous the second half of the day, at least compared to this morning. Tomorrow is mostly cloudy, but dry, 64 degrees, so a little below normal. But then the warmth builds in by Friday and the weekend. Even though there's some spot storm chance, it's going to be really, really warm with highs in the low to mid 80s. We'll talk more about this forecast and the rain for today coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 4:57.